Hello, Spibbles.
Hello, everybody. How you doing? I hope you all had a wonderful week. I hope you're all good. Hiya, Kiwi, Jason, John. I hope you're all doing good, guys. I'm just going to crack open the cider. It's been a rather hot, humid day here. Humid is the one, isn't it? Because we have had thunderstorms. We did get caught up in some heavy rain ourselves.
We did.
We certainly did. It did rumble around us. Had to pull a bit of an emergency stop to cover up the scooter and on the trailer.
Yes.
Coming back from the show.
Head down.
Do excuse me having a cider.
I'm on the
needed that. Gaz is
H2O.
on the water today. She's been very, very good. I've got a bit of a sore throat. Had a cigar yesterday and I'm regretting it now. I do love a cigar, but it's left me a bit sore down there. Plus, it was dusty today, wasn't it?
It was
really,
and you got some
dusty.
the big scammels, and some of the track vehicles. They do not bring up the old dust when they're, especially that thing that I don't know what it was, but they called it the thirsty bitch.
I have no idea.
I don't even know what it was, but it tracked away, and my mobility scooter was bumping about as it was, and I thought, there's no way I'm going across their tracks.
Quite a surreal day, actually, because there we were at the military show, and I always find it not amusing as in I'm taking the mickey, just quite surreal that I find myself in an event, and 1 minute I've got a Second World War Japanese soldier walking past, then a couple of Russians,
yes,
then a couple of Germans,
yes.
There's always nationalities. You meet some guys in American uniforms with American kit who have got local accents. So it's all part of it. It's part of the reenactment thing. I can get it. I'd see it. I don't think it's silly. I'm holding the history. And
this was a gentleman there from the Ukrainian relief.
Yeah.
I think they were selling on that stall was for their Ukrainian, and there was a lot of German helmets, binoculars. Wasn't there a lot of the leather helmets that they used to wear for the flying people? Yes, sorry,
pilots.
Hi, Lefty.
I'm seeing something I'm in the chat I've never seen before. This is new. Is that a crown
Dirty Faces
with #3, #1, #2? I'm gonna have to dive back into YouTube stuff and find out what that's all about. Anyhow, hi Dirty Faces, how you doing? Right, so we're pretty much nearly there, aren't we? We've got 13 people there. So, guys, before we get started tonight, I'd just like to say thoughts and prayers for those caught up in the Texas floods.
Yeah, that's awful. Yeah,
we've talked about flooding on the channel before, and that was a prime example of how quick and devastating it can be, and why, especially if you live in a river valley and that you need to be prepared. Although in that situation, there's not a lot you can prepare against when a river rises 25 feet in 1 hour.
Yeah.
That's pretty damn devastating. And again, at the moment, we're still dealing with, or people are still dealing with loss of life and trying to find people. But also in the coming weeks and months, it's those that will have lost their livelihoods, their homes, their businesses, their livestock, things that they've worked for a long time on. Yeah, it's just not an instant effect. So it's a terrible, terrible thing. And our hearts, thoughts and prayers go to all those affected by it. Willow's on one tonight.
I'm trying to pick him up.
Because we went out today and Willow got puppy sat. He is right on one, and I also think it's something to do with the thunderstorms. He has been attacking us. Wants to play non-stop. At the moment, Kaz is trying to pick him up and say hello, and the game is He's running at Kaz, attacking Kaz, and then running away as soon as she bends forward. Willow, come here. Come on. Come on. That's
Bloody hell.
Come on. You're so happy. Yeah. So
Yes.
happy. Spring and energy's in your step, isn't it?
Woo!
All right.
Mad.
And talking of dogs, our thoughts and prayers also go out to our friend Derek, Mr. D, Hang Tough, who's lost his dog this week as
little
well.
Sammy.
Sammy's passed. So, yeah, and yes.
Hello, Andy.
That'd be quite heartbreaking. Right. I'm going to let this ball of energy.
Come here. Look at your peoples.
Look, they're in there.
The peoples.
They're in there. Look, in this. And there you go. Crazy dog. So, yeah, we went to a show today. So we went to the Cable show. We met Andy there, which was absolutely fantastic because he
goes Mickey, and it's great because of course you know us, but we don't all know you.
Yeah. And it is absolutely lovely to meet people. And it was a genuine pleasure to meet you. It put the icing on my cake. Even came above meeting the state detective, which was quite cool. But obviously, it's a wonderful thing to be able to put faces to names and so on. And in person, that is.
Hi, Ian.
So yeah, it was. This one, we're going to make a video of it. I don't know how it's going to come out because, again,
Bushcroft Sussex.
I seem to have the filming gremlin on my shoulder this week. The camera overheated twice on me. I've expanded one battery. So it's just one of those. I tried running it on my chest and then tried talking to people. And I did manage to have a little chat with people there. A couple of army surplus stalls there, mainly online dealers. I've got their details on the video, but they've all been given a card. I told them if you want to join us on a Sunday night social, stick your company, your details in the comments. The guys will pop over and have a look.
You'll actually, Lee, when Mick uploads the video, you'll actually see me and on me scooter, and the field was very rutty. So I'm like Lee going.
She was.
And all one-handed because I've only had my camera in my hand.
She loved it.
But I have taken so many photographs. I've got ambulances, scamel trucks. I've got jeeps, lightweights, track vehicles. Yeah,
old
big
vehicles,
guns,
new vehicles, kit that I've never seen before.
Yeah.
I found an American tracked vehicle that I want one. You'll see that on the video. I want one. I'm hinting birthday time if you could all chip together. There was all sorts there.
I actually had the fire department. We had the fire and rescue there.
Yeah.
And I jokingly said that I wanted their cord to swap it for my scooter.
And they pretty much went, quad's rubbish. We'll swap you. So apparently their quad won't do more than a couple of miles an hour at the moment. It's in limp mode. So
those sorts of ferrets. You name it. I've always wanted one of the military ferrets. Yeah, I probably couldn't get in it, but yeah.
And again, a wealth of firearms, antique firearms. It's great
big
fun.
Guns.
Listening to people talking about their kit and that, and seeing the enthusiasm behind it and how they, it's quite amazing because this isn't just a simple one-day event. This is a multi-day event. Some of the guys we spoke to have been there since last Monday and last Sunday, and to maintain their kit through a week in the field as reenactors, and every day get up, make sure our uniform looks spotless, make sure the kit's spot on.
Yeah, sadly, Jason, we saw one stall with some MRE in, and we're that old. I don't think a dinosaur burger would really. They were. Yeah.
right, not knocking the American MREs because I don't think they're that bad. However,
thank you, Lefty, for giving us a membership out
There
again.
is one in particular which I saw 4 of in the bottom of a box, and I thought, no way, in no hell am I buying those, because I have had one years ago, and that is a ham egg omelette.
Hi, Simon.
A ham and egg.
Oh, that was vile.
Ration pack. Any of you out there, and I'm sure any of my American friends that have tried it, oh yeah, there's some things should be consigned to the shelf of doom. I only spent a tenner whilst I was there, because as I was walking along, I saw that was laying like that in a box on sods, and so I sort of picked it up, as you do, and I just had a quick peek like that, and I looked at the lid, and I looked at the date stamp on the lid, and I stuck it back together like that. So they're like, "How much do you want for that?" You went a tenner. I went, "Done. Give a tenner." Yeah, 1958 Romanian water bottle kit. Now, I don't know anything about this gear, but I was looking at it going, you know what, I like the way it's made. It's a nice old piece. What I thought
it's almost like a tanks thing, isn't it?
Yeah. What I thought was going to be a cook pot isn't, because it's got a rubber bung in the bottom which goes all the way through to stop the water bottle rattling. So I hope Romanian winters weren't that rough. But I liked the water bottle. It's a very sturdy water bottle with a really good top. I don't know, you see inside there, it's been coated with something, and I've got no idea what that is. I'll have a play with it. I don't know whether that's an original plastic coat or somebody's lined it with something, or something's been in there. But actually, what I'm looking at that for is not a water bottle.
It's really heavy, isn't it?
But a fuel bottle. That's what I want that for. To be honest with you, it's that old, had that much stuff in it and out of it over the years. You don't know what's been in there. And because it's aluminium, if people have put dodgy bits and pieces in there, it can eat into the aluminium and retain. So what I actually thought was that's a nice little fuel bottle.
It really clicks solid. Look.
Or the cup.
Yeah. Look. It clicks in. And yeah.
The other test we've got to find out is whether this, I don't. Yeah, I think this is. This was obviously meant as a mess kit more than anything. I think you carry that in, get your food dolloped into that, your soup, and your coffee.
It might be a sort of ceramic lining, Jen said.
It might be. I just don't want to take the chance of something that's been around since 1958. You just don't know what has been in there. But again, a nice little old piece. It's an interesting talking piece. I'll have a look at it, see if I can clean it out. It is all aluminium. It's coated with this camouflage.
That one was 10 quid.
10 quid. Can't really go wrong, you know. And
it is sandblast inside, yeah.
Yeah, it is just an interesting bit of kit. It could be sandblasted. It could also.
Do the two cups clip together?
No, they don't, unfortunately. No. I know what you're thinking of. You're thinking of like the later Romanian one, where you actually had a little piece there that clipped in that way, so you could carry the two like that.
Yeah.
No, this one doesn't, unfortunately. You literally just got a handle on that one, and there should have been. I can't tell what. I think it's going to have been a webbing. A webbing strap. I mean, this is a mismatch because that cup's 52.
Yeah.
That cup is 52.
Yeah, Jason said keep it on the display thing. It's got a nice little piece,
the bottle's
isn't it?
58. No, sorry. The bottleneck is 60. The lid is 58. So it's a mismatch of something you put together.
Doesn't matter if you turn the cups around.
Yeah.
Kiwi, it's no.
And originally, what I do like about it is there'd have been a strap that would have gone from here.
Yeah, because it's got like a like a button.
And then would have come through here. There's no clip or anything on it. It's just a strap that would pull through and help hold it together. But it's just a nice, interesting old bit of kit. And for a tenner, I mean, let's face it, it's yeah, I'd give a tenner for that
And
all day long.
there was one stall. You'll see them on the film. We looked at this bloke's stall, and I noticed these really nice black army socks, and they were 50p a pair. And I said to him, "Oh, I'll have 4 pairs of those for Willow, because you know what Willow's like for socks." And he goes, "No," he said, "there you are. That's a donation to the channel. So thank you, and we will find out
Yeah,
who they
on
were."
the video, you'll get a thank you at the end of the video.
Hi, Owen.
Yeah, so it was an absolutely cracking day. A long day. It was a long drive out there, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
Trailer behaved impeccably. The Land Rover, as usual, behaved impeccably. In actual fact, I got my best bit of fuel consumption out of it yet. On the motorway with the trailer, with the scooter on, at 50 mile an hour, because that's what the law says for an unbraked trailer. We were getting 40.9 to a gallon. So I was more than happy with that.
Sussex, camping in flip-flops. Ended up getting tipsy walking across a hay meadow full of thistles.
Oh, do like a pair of flip-flops, but only around the house, yeah. I'm afraid. So, yeah, and I got to meet the state detective. What a lovely chap. What a lovely, really nice chap.
Like a bomb in the ground next to outside. It had tape round it. And he showed us, he'd done something inside the little tent where he's got his state detective products. And all of a sudden the smoke started rising out of this. It had a German sticker on it, didn't it?
Brilliant.
And people were all sort of standing around, and this smoke is wafting off this this bomb.
It was absolutely brilliant to meet him. And and if he sees this, as we said, we were chatting there, the invite is open to you for the camp. I will drop you a message to let you know the camps are going to be in October, guys, so it's cooled down.
Yeah.
And if he wishes to join us, he's more than welcome. It's we'd be more than happy to have him.
Hi, Adam B.
It's but the show itself, was fantastic, fantastic fun.
It was kids all dressed up with, and there's a couple of stalls, and they had all. Then you could have all the camo stuff, and we saw several kids at various ages walking around with their guns and walking around in their para outfits, and that it's good.
And it was the other nice thing that was there. And it's a shame that we have to do it today, but there was a notice, and the notice said this is a military reenactment show. It is non-political. You will see things in here, uniforms, kit and equipment that may trigger people. These items, this kit and so on is worn, carried and used from an historical purpose. It is for the use of reenactment.
And the whole show is to raise money for military-based charities. So there was the one for helping soldiers with PTSD. There was
amputees, the whole lot. Homes for servicemen, the whole lot. So it was really, really, really nice to see. And again, when you're looking around, it didn't have the biggest trade area that I've ever seen, and I always like a nose around a trade area, don't I?
Yeah.
There's again, it's finding those odd bits of kit. I mean, there was everything there from bayonet frogs for 50p. There was foreign kit. There was American Civil War kit. There was
that one stall, that Ukrainian stall. I've never seen so many German Second World War helmets and stuff like that. There was so many.
I always find those bits a bit sad though when I'm whether they're ours or anybody else's, when you see a display of helmets with bullet holes in them.
There was one called with it treasure from the front.
Yeah.
So obviously these have been brought back from there.
That was somebody's son, wasn't it? Let's have a look through the comments. I saw it was happening.
Hi, Andy B. I wonder if did you have a nice time at Flanders? And Did you get to see some of the racing? Oh, you did
Yeah.
Menham Gate and Tynecock Cemetery. Oh, fantastic!
Mate, that's one to walk around, isn't it?
Yes, he's in Flanders now.
Yeah, the gate and Tynecock is. Oh,
well, I hope the weather's been fine for you out there.
Yeah,
and not too warm.
Always chokes me when I start walking through the names, and it's one of those places. I think this is one of the issues in today's world, isn't it? Is these places are all for us really, with the exception of a few little tucked away cemeteries and that,
When we went with a friend of ours, we went to Pegasus Bridge, and we also went to Gold Beach, and we went to the Gold Beach museum and that as well. And we went to some of the other beaches, and those stretches of beautiful sand, and you think such horrors went on there, and it's.
I think often when I've been into France and Belgium, places like that, and I see how, especially the Second World War, is remembered by the people who were liberated, and yet in my own country, the powers that be and the majority of the population don't want to really know or remember.
We went to
except for one day of the year.
We went to one museum, and they had one of the landing craft that was a landing craft from D-Day, and that had actually been used for the filming of Saving Private Ryan, wasn't it? And that was actually in a museum now.
And that was quite poignant for me, because that same day I went and stood on the beach. My grandfather, who was a chief petty officer, and he was in command of a Higgins boat, a landing craft, and during the Second World War and through D-Day and that, he got involved in a lot, the old bugger. But I found out through his war records and that which beach he was on, who he brought in, and we went and visited the beach, which was quite moving to see the place, especially now. What was fascinating was we also went and visited a German observation point, which was a disguised building. And I actually got to look through the set of binos that some German officer would have looked through the mist of that morning and seen my granddad coming towards the beach. I'll tell you what, better put some fear of what's it up in. But to finish off the day, being able to stand on one of those landing craft, it was very, very moving. Yeah, it was very moving.
Where the Germans were interested in this concrete building, they had to get through, the Allies had to get through this almost tunnel, and there was a door, and all that you could see was a slit, and they actually managed to take over this building.
That's a hell of a thing to overrun. I mean, the most moving thing for me on that day, funnily enough, was as I'm stood at the head of this beach, looking out at the flat sand just stretching almost endlessly on to the channel, knowing Britain's the other side. Behind me, there's a children's play area, and it is a beautiful play area created at the top of that beach, and all I could hear was the sound of laughing children.
Good evening, Andy. Nice to see you today.
And the one thought hit me at that point was, Grandad, you did a good thing. You know, it's just, freedom and liberty is an important thing.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter who you are, where you are in the world. It's such an essential part of our lives, and we don't all feel free, and we don't all feel that we got the liberty we deserve, because that's just the way of the modern world.
Yeah.
However, those liberties and freedoms we do have, we really should appreciate and make the most of. You know, it's a simple thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Anyhow,
and Andy Taylor's there. He's arrived, and it was lovely to have met you. And I've got a photograph of you with Mike. And
she's not my wife. I'm going to argue. He's a big lad as well. He's pretty.
Felt like friend. You know,
yeah. It's a weird thing to feel that you know people you've never met. Andy. So raise my glass to you, mate, and I hope everything went well for you. Then we got hit by a thunderstorm on the way home, and it was torrential, and it was heading that way. So hopefully you managed to get away before that got to you, or it petered out beforehand. Yeah.
It's and Jason, our son, our younger son, he's been looking into your grandfather's thing. Lucky there are records that if you can look.
There are. I mean, I know with the British war records, you can put in a request. I believe you can put in a request by name, and if you've got it, date of birth, to look up the records, and they can send them to you. So I don't know if where you are out there, your government runs the same sort of thing. Hopefully they do. I would love to think they do. If not, try and find the name of his unit, and we'll try and do a bit of a search over here. Try and find out, where he was.
We've got we had a lot of Canadians based in Cranley, where I come from, during the Second World War, near airfield called Dunsfold, and this was presented to my mum's my parents' neighbours by the Canadian brigades as a thank you
Canadian Light Horse
for looking after them during the Second World War, and they presented her with this piece, and she gave it to my mum, and my mum said, "Well, it's more your thing." So that was actually from a unit based in England, in Surrey.
Yeah, Canadian Light Horse, free and fearless.
Yeah,
what a cracking cap badge that is.
And of course, you got the two things there,
which are inert, obviously, but So give us see what you can. And again, Canadians, we had a lot of Canadians stationed around here, a lot of Australians stationed around here.
Hi, Lawrence.
So we might be able to.
So it's 3006. Those.
Yeah, 3006. I thought if I was American, 3006.
Yep. You actually did during some of the filming he done today. I think he was talking to John.
Yeah.
About certain calibers of, and he actually at the Ukrainian stall. He was going, "Look, there you go. We were just talking about that."
Yeah, just picked it up and went, "Yeah, there we go." Looked at it without my reading glasses on. Picked it up and went, 303, drill round, and then turned it over and saw the domed base and went, no, Soviet 762 by 54. There we go. Yeah. So
fantastic,
history. It's fantastic history. So, I went fishing this week as well. Went fishing in the wrong spot. Me and Mac did. We were told to go to a spot. We went to the wrong spot. It was hell. It was like being in the jungles of Borneo. We were getting separated 2 feet apart. You couldn't see one another for the undergrowth, and all you could hear in the distance. It was quite scary. Since found out, like I say, we were in the wrong spot, so we're going to go back. But I was thinking about what was out there. So, fishing is fishing bushcraft.
Oh yeah, it's peaceful. That'd be fantastic, Andy.
Yeah. Would you consider fishing bushcrafting? In fact, would you consider any form of hunting bushcrafting? Yeah,
Tatmoys.
That led me to doing a little bit of research. So the earliest mention of bushcraft in written form that I can find is in Ernest Favernak's book, The History of the Australian Exploration, 1788 to 1888. And he uses the term bushcraft in there. My research took me down a bit of a rabbit hole and really took me into the fact that modern bushcraft as we know it, modern survivalism as we know it, really came to the fore during the Second World War, when they realised that you could replace a plane, but you can't replace the crew. The skills, the time, the experience that a crew gathers are an essential thing. And so they realised they needed to create survival schools, survival training for pilots, whether it be in the Arctic, whether it be over Europe, whether it may be over a jungle environment. And it was
watercraft,
yeah, very interesting thing to read up on. So yeah, it was, yeah, and that took me down the road. It's like bushcrafting. So where do we see this term used so often? My mum, when I was talking to her about the channel show to the channel and all the rest of it, she turned around and said,
yeah, it's Jason.
So what you're calling bushcraft and prepping is what we used to call everyday life. She said, being able to make a basket, being able to forage. She said that was everyday life when I was a girl. And so, yeah,
woodlaw.
It's made me realise, those skills that we're trying to maintain, carry on today, aren't really something mysterious from the depths of time. There was something from this last century. In actual fact, when you look at stories of mountain men, and I don't wish to use these terms in a derogatory manner, which quite often you hear today, but in the terms that they were originally shown was a level of respect. The tramping men. Now, my father had a great deal of respect for people that he referred to as the tramping men. They used to say the tramping men are lost souls wandering the back roads of Britain. Okay, that got shortened over the years to tramps and become a term that was used as disrespect. But these were people that just wanted to live outside of society and live their own way. They didn't want to be part of it.
It's sad now that it hasn't been part. It got to a generation when it suddenly stopped. It didn't get passed on as much, and those have carried on their life with none of this memory of thing of how to live like this. That now we're scrabbling to try and get that back again, so we can relearn it and carry on.
One of the things I like about the log hoppers is it takes me back to something my father always explained to me. Was the tramping men used to come to the farm, and they would come into the farm in ones and twos, and they would turn up and they would just ask, have you got any work that needs doing? And they would do anything. They would turn their hands to anything. Some of these guys, in fact, were absolutely real skillful in what they could do. But they would then come and they would stay on the farm somewhere, usually out the way, maybe in a barn, maybe in a corner of a field for a few days, maybe a week. And they would labour on the farm. And in return, they would get payment. Yeah. My dad would always say, leave certain things out. He'd leave a couple of old jackets if he had them. He'd never throw away a pair of boots. He'd leave them to one side. And he would always say, he would never say, these are for you. He would always say, if you know somebody that could use these, by all means, pass them on for me. Because he said these men have their pride and their respect to carry. So that fascinates me. And log hoppers I see not very similar in the fact that they've turned their back on the modern world for in certain respects and just want to carry on that tradition. And it is an old tradition.
My cousins from Surrey, they lived outside Guildford. They actually travelled round in an old horse-drawn cart, and they used to go all over the south doing work, whether it be mending horseshoes, doing a bit of maintenance on the land, whether it be harvesting stuff, and that's how they lived. That they just went round with their dogs and the horse and their cart, and that was in the 90s.
Yeah. It's a lifestyle. Yeah. It's a people that have chosen to live outside of the modern world, and again, you can find this in indigenous peoples. You can find it in the hobo community. You can find it in some religious groups. There are religious groups all over the world that have completely shunned the modern world. Still, they don't use. Some don't use electricity. Some don't use mechanical tools. They don't want today's world infecting them.
But it's down to us now. We're carrying that on and passing it on, and the younger ones coming up, and
And the beauty of it is these people thrive on the edge of the modern world.
Yeah.
And I'll just finish off this section with a piece I found which was quite interesting. So, donkeys years ago, it didn't give me a date, but donkeys years ago, Nobel Prize winner Elias Canetti said, "Our forefathers did without sugar until the 13th century. They did without coal until the 14th century. They did without butter and bread until the 16th century. They did without tea and soup until the 17th century, and without gas, matches, or electricity until the 20th century. However, they survived. Imagine what you could do."
Mm.
You know, it's a lovely piece.
Yeah.
I don't think it's necessarily accurate because I think we definitely had coal soup a bit before.
If you think of us as a community, how much what we can all bring to the our skills that we have learning or are learning.
Yeah.
We're just keeping that.
I think the other thing is it's also keeping that hope in your mind. There's quite a bit in this life and world that makes you go, "Oh, do you know what? I can't do that." And one of the things I love about the community is nobody in the community has ever said to me, "I can't do that." They've said to me, "I don't know how to do that," but then progress to learn, share, ask the question. I find with the bushcraft prep and survival community, it's so full of wonderful people
nice,
that
Jason.
are happy to share. Are happy to share knowledge, swap ideas, methods. You don't get none of this. You're right.
Yeah, positive mental attitude.
I'm right. You're wrong. This is the only way. You do find that a lot of people are really open to just sharing their methods and their techniques, learning more. We never stop learning. It's a positive mental attitude. You can't beat it.
Because Andy's invited to go fishing with him, isn't he?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I mean, I'm getting back into my fishing. There's going to be a couple of fishing videos coming up. I know fishing's not everybody's cup of tea. If you want to, as far as I'm concerned, fishing has a place in the bushcraft and survival world because it's an ancient way of putting food on the plate.
Yeah, well, Jason just said he's just put 25 sockeye salmon in his freezer.
Yeah, exactly that. Exactly that.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. So here in the UK, there is no freshwater fish you cannot eat. There are a couple that are recommended not to. Mud skippers, apparently they taste disgusting, and chub apparently taste disgusting.
Yeah.
But the pike, you said the perch used to be called the Prince of the Rivers because it was apparently one of the best tasting fish that we had in British Isles. So again, not that I would do it because it would be very illegal to hook out a perch, especially a large one, onto the bank in Britain. And
the passion for angling, yes, my father used to fish, and he taught us. And I was lucky that Mark had a fish pond on his farm, and we spent many days through the summer on the pond. Just go down there with a picnic and.
Yeah, Chris Yates and Bob Jones. Yeah, Stealth. If there's right at the moment on if you're interested in having a bash and getting into it, guys like the Ginger Fisherman, who's a YouTuber.
Oh, he's got a really good channel.
Really good channel, and he's really good at actually. He does a lot of underwater shots and things like that. He really goes into the subject.
He was watching one this week, and he was in a lock gate, and he put his camera down, and you can see all the perch hiding in this little dark, almost like a little cave in the bricks. Yeah. And he was dropping the worms and that down, and these perch were coming out, and of course their backs would be up. It was really nice. Hi, lockhoppers.
Hi, lockhoppers. You just got a mention just now. I'm really sorry.
Oh, Dee, hello. Oh. Hello, Mr. D. We're so sorry to hear about your Sammy.
D.
You just had salmon burger with fries and ranch. Very nice.
Just guys, thoughts and prayers to Mr. D as well tonight. He's recently lost his little buddy Sammy. She's passed across the Rainbow Bridge. I know his heart's broken, so I'm not going to go into it too much. But there we go.
Yeah,
But,
my sister,
thoughts and prayers are with
she
you.
went away this week for a holiday on the Isle of Wight, and the day before she was due to come home, the kennels got hold of her and said that her 12-year-old Dalmatian had passed as well. It's hard.
Jason, I expect we were. I mean, you're not going to see me fly fishing because the last time somebody tried to teach me to fly fish, they gave up after about 3 hours and actually described it as me whipping the air. The guy actually said to me, he said, "You'll never make that lake move any faster."
I've actually seen someone fly fishing for, I think it was chub and pike. I thought that was interesting.
I personally myself, I just enjoy being out there, to be honest with you. And if I catch something, I'm happy.
You see so much wildlife on the banks of the canals and the rivers and lakes and that. It's
and I would love to live somewhere like Island Jason, where I would be able to fish for certain species for the table. In the UK, I could go fishing for trout, or I could go sea fishing. Sea fishing, there's not a lot in the way of expense there, but trout fishing in the UK, to go to a good trout water is steep. It's very expensive. It's not.
We've watched TA Outdoors Dad fishing, haven't we?
Yeah, that's another good fishing channel. But again, somebody mentioned a passion for angling. Passion for Angling was one of the greatest series.
I loved it.
Of videos made about fishing. The capture of the environment, the atmosphere, the beauty, the excitement of two grown men having the excitement of small boys still instilled in them.
Yeah, one using ultra modern, and then the other one using the really old bamboo stuff and that. Yeah,
it was, and they coined a phrase that I've used over the years when I've gone fishing since. It's not about catching; it's about being there. It's the whole experience. I
think they'll go the one that was fishing in the tree, looking down on those big Redmore, the carp there.
Yeah, it's
Catching River Monsters. That's another good one. But the that ginger fishing channel. It's good.
Sussex. I can understand what you're saying there. It hit me the same way. It was just so well written. It was so well filmed. The atmospherics were fantastic, and Bernard Cribbin's voiceover, mate, second to none. Good old Bernard. A voice from our childhood for a certain generation. Bernard Cribbin's voice, whether it be a Womble, whether it be in Doctor Who, whether it be in A Passion for Angling, Bernard Cribbins, what a guy.
Cool Fish and Pigeon. I was sent a video from Lee Roberts, and that was how in the old days used to fold a leaf, put a bar with a piece of I think bread or something inside it, and the wild chickens would come along, peck it. They peck down and they get this leaf thing on their head, and that's how you were able to catch them, because it stayed on their head.
So my dad used to tell me a story about how during the war, him and his brothers, who were, shall we say, so-and-so lads of the countryside, they used to make little paper cones, and they would bury these cones in an area where they knew there was pheasants, and they would then throw out feed around it, but they would drop a bit of feed into each one of these cones, and the pheasant would come along and take it out. That's it. And the thing is, and this isn't very politically correct, and I do apologise.
Take it easy and respect your son-in-law.
It's not meant to trigger you, but it was the point where my dad rolled up laughing and said we would go up into the woods in the evening, and it would look like a little group of Ku Klux Klan turkeys running around. And he said all you had to do was walk over, because I couldn't see anything, pick them up, and they're off for the pot.
Three dog.
So that was an evolution of Lee Roberts' technique of using a leaf. But again, it's all viable options.
It's like the old thing about putting the soaking raisins in alcohol and putting on a string and putting them down, and the old box on a little twig on a bit of string. Sorry you didn't get the reminder, Three Dog.
Oh, sorry, Three Dog.
Yeah.
Tube, it's a swine. It's a swine. It is a swine. So, LM, how you doing, Lawrence? I hope all is good with you. Anybody that I've not said hello to yet, 'cause I'm wearing the wrong glasses again tonight, so reading I'm like.
Simon, I saw a really good one the other day. What someone got, you know, those plastic, you get them in like pound ad. They're like for hanging out your underwear on, like a plastic. They can all get square ones or round ones. They got the little pegs on, and you clip your stuff on. Well, they did. They attached a hook to each one of them, and they attached it onto a rope, threw it into the water, and when he brought it up, nearly every one of the hooks had a fish.
Yeah. Oh, Owen, cracking.
Yeah.
I became a professional fisherman, but I discovered I couldn't live on my net income. Oh, brilliant. Mr. Potts and Railway Children, yes.
How could you do that? Yeah, yeah.
Max, how you doing, brother?
Yes, we did see your huge buildings.
Yes, yes.
And your mate skidding.
Massive sheds.
Emptying those sheds out.
Massive sheds. That's hard work. It was hot in there, mate.
Jason, I like listening to music when I'm fishing. Something catchy.
Oh, here we go. We're into all the fishing puns.
I used to be sea fish, but my soul wasn't in it. Oh my luck! Come on then, get it over with.
Yeah. Get yourselves over it, guys. Come on, ease it out there. How many fishing puns can we have tonight?
But it doesn't matter about you.
Max, have a good night, mate.
Like Max, it doesn't matter if you don't catch anything. It's just being outside to reset your mind, to be somewhere that's quiet and you got the birds singing and all the pheasants going mad in the background. And yeah,
I find with fishing, one of the nice things about that is I enjoy being around water, so that's good for my soul anyhow. And again, just the act of sitting quietly and watching and waiting for something to happen, whether it does or doesn't, you start to tune into so much going on around you. And the beauty of fishing, especially in the UK, along a lot of the rivers and around a lot of lakes, is those are regular swims. So the wildlife becomes used to people sitting there being completely inactive. They realise that once that guy's sat at that point on the bank or that spot, he's not a threat. He's not an issue. He's you not get robins
come down,
and they just will. Yeah, they will accept you. And it comes back to that whole thing that a lot of modern people don't realise, that nature will accept you. Nature recognises you as an animal, and if you're not being threatening, if you're not being stalking, then it will accept you being there and will adapt around you quite happily. I've had all sorts over the years get really close to me, my camp, my tent, where I am, purely and simply because after a period of time it's gone, well, he's not a threat. He's not hunting. He's just sitting there. A lion can walk through a field and nothing will fly around it. I've seen crocodiles and alligators sat on banks and animals come to feed around them. They're not threatening. They're not hunting. They're not in their hunt mode. And the animals recognise that. And it's the same thing with humans. So it's that returning yourself to where you need to be.
Sticks is in the house.
Evening, Sticks. How you doing, brother?
That's right, Lee. You spend lots and lots of money. Yeah. So, in fact, you and Mac and Mick went out with fishing rod, reel, etc. from Temu.
Yeah.
We got some
Temu
set it as
gear. Part of a challenge. Yeah. It's Temu gear.
And Mac, there was a collapsible rod with a reel, and he borrowed it off you, and he liked it that much. He asked me to order him the pair, and they come next week because he's really enjoyed walking and fishing with it.
That's the other thing for somebody. If people are nervous about doing wild camps, there's another way of doing a wild camp, isn't it? An overnight session on a lake in a bivvy is no different, really, to going out and having a bit of a wild camp anywhere. In fact, quite often, I think it can be in a nicer spot, but you've not got to look over your shoulder. You've not got to worry about it. And you've got something to do. Because one of the things for me in camps, and I often say this, is once I've put the camp together, once I've got everything sorted, once all my admin's done, there is always an hour or two of sitting there going, right, what am I going to do now then? Shall I move that over there? No. Shall I do this?
That's like Lee Roberts. He's always sitting there. If you ever come when he's on a camp, he's sitting there all the time. He made the he's made spatula and that.
He'd be whittling, or he'd be doing a bit of flint knapping and making arrowheads, you know. So it's yeah.
Oh, thank you very much, Mike. Mike said he was worried about you and seemed to be upset this week on a video.
Oh, Mike, yeah, it's don't worry about me. I'm okay. It's just bit health issues again, and it's just when I thought everything was going climbing up, not back a bit, and I've got to admit I am suffering a little bit. I've got a little bit of the, you want to call it, the black dog about me at the moment. I've had a couple of days where I've Kaz, I tell you, I've sat there and when I should be doing something and focusing and moving forward, and I said I've had a couple of days where I've sat there and gone, I can't be bothered.
It's like me. Friday, my sister got hold of me about her dog, and then yesterday, a girl that I grew up with, her name is Caroline as well. She passed after being ill in hospital for a month. So life sometimes just kicks you.
Yeah, life can be a stinker. No, John, I can't handle idle time. Idle time does my head in. That's why you'll always find me. I'm always trying to do something. If not, I even take a book with me. I like to read, so quite often I can just sit there, especially if I'm on my own. If there's other people about where you can communicate, talk through things and all the rest of it, share things and do things. Or if my mate Stix is there, there's always something going on if Stix is about creating things and that.
And Owen and Kitten, everyone, you're all such busy little beavers, aren't you?
In actual fact, on the video that's coming up for the show that we visited, Stix, I found something for you. Yeah. The guy's got log dogs. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
guarding log dogs.
I took photographs of he guarding his camp. He had log dogs.
Yeah,
and one actually had a studded collar on, didn't it?
Yeah, brilliant. They were laughed my arse off when I saw them. Thought of you straight away.
After your deer and that, you've got to do the
Yeah, they're Rhodesian logbacks apparently.
I'm sorry, I'm back to the beavers again.
Back to beavers. Nothing wrong with a bear beaver. In fact, I watched somebody being attacked by a beaver last night on YouTube.
They're not. The lady and her husband were down by a little sort of river, wasn't it? And this beaver was seeing them off. He was chasing after them.
I laughed my arse off because I was like, well, not only does your dinner come wandering out the river towards you, although I've not tried beaver, and I've heard differing thoughts on it from, it's all right, to bloody horrible. So when I get out to the States, that might be something for me to try. I might go out to America and eat me some beaver.
Busy beaver try. Any volunteers? Exactly. Yeah. I saw a thing about snakes. No, it wasn't a snake. It was actually about catfish.
Yeah.
This gentleman, I think it was in America. He works a lot with looking after the catfish. And there was this one particular catfish who was laying there, and all we could see was like it's this gorged belly. And he sort of turned it over, realised it was asleep. And they're saying that sometimes they can bite off more than they can chew. And when he got it up onto the bank, opened its mouth, you could see it had eaten a nutria rat, because we could see it was the teeth and that. And so he had to get him and his mate got it to the side, and what they had to do was put a rope around this nutria rat and actually pull it out for this catfish to survive. Evening, Tar Pack.
Yeah, evening, Mac. How you doing, mate? I hope all's good with you. Tar Pack, how you doing, guys? Yeah,
Jason said beaver meat stinks.
Yeah, Yeah, so I've heard that. I have heard that. I've heard it can be quite
naughty,
quite an acquired taste. But then I suppose as well, it depends on the situation. If you're hungry enough, you'll eat anything. So yeah. So I'm out with the Tar Pack guys tomorrow. Going to be doing a little bit of filming with them tomorrow afternoon. I've got a couple of bits to show.
I'll better get some more batteries because you'll.
Yeah, I'll go. Yeah, I can't believe it. GoPro battery blowing
Damn.
up. It literally the GoPro battery. The GoPro got hot, froze. I opened up, took the battery out, and as I took the battery out the case in my hand, the sides of the battery went and it expanded. I was getting ready to lob it.
Sea snakes in the Persian Gulf, nasty looking. Are they harmless, Mickey?
Right. The most venomous snakes in the world are the aquatic snake species. Any aquatic snake species is to be treated as if it's absolutely deadly. Not all of them, though. There are species that are quite harmless, but the deadliest snake venoms in the world are nearly all aquatic species, and that isn't just seawater; it's also freshwater. So when we look at some of the cottonmouths and things like that, for their size, they can be absolutely deadly. But again, if sea-borne snakes, avoid them like the plague. Don't mess with them because again, with all snake teaching, unless you are really there all day, every day with them and can spot it,
don't make a mistake of grabbing one thing. Oh, I've got an eel.
Watching a guy day before yesterday, wasn't it, in South Africa, catching boomslangs by hand around gardens, and he was throwing his hand. He obviously knew. Did this for a
South
living,
Africa, and he had a bucket, and he was holding the snake by its tail. With the other arm, he'd been using the snake's stick. Yeah. He was holding the snake and then unpopping the bucket with 4 clips on it, and then putting the snake in.
He really understood the species. Really did understand the species he's dealing with. But again, I was cringing. I was like,
he was picking these things up. It was like they were like worms in a garden. There were so many of these snakes.
And again, don't take it that because the snake is non-toxic that it's harmless. What I keep hearing from people going, but I picked up a grass snake because they're harmless. They've got no venom.
They're not.
They have no venom. They have no venom as such in their mouth, but they live by water. They feed on things like toads, frogs, newts, mice, rats, and things like that. That's a grass snake's food. They carry a lot of bacteria in their mouth.
And they can take a chunk out, can't they?
And they can bite. And they can give you quite a nasty bite that can be quite painful. But it's not as a guy once said to me, more people die from grass snake bites in the UK than die from adders. And there are not many. There are not many people killed by snakes in the UK. Very, very, very rare. In fact, the last person to die from an adder bite, I believe, was back in the 1950s. That was a young girl. But with grass snakes, what tends to happen, it's not they say it doesn't go down as a snake bite killing the person. It goes down because it becomes a secondary infection. And that is because people get bitten by it and go, it was a grass snake. I know it was a grass snake. It's harmless. It's not a problem. Fine. Just give it a bit of a wash off. Give it a few days. It'll be fine. And then it starts to get infected. And that bacterial infection in there before they've realised it. Because they keep looking at it and going, it's just where it bit me. That's why it's a bit swollen, a bit red, a bit uncomfortable. Blimey, I'm off getting a temperature. I've got a bit of a pain under my arm. And the next thing you know, they're in hospital. And it's the infection that kills them. So again, you just got to treat all living things with respect, especially anything that lives near ground, lives near water. Take it from somebody that had leptospirosis. I've actually had Weil's disease. I caught that from a bank vole, of all things, clearing a bank off, a river bank on a canal. And I see this little vole. We pulled out this tree stump, and this vole was stood there in a hole. I go, the world has just disappeared in the sky. I'm terrified. And I fell through and I thought, you poor little bugger, I'm going to move you before you get squashed. And I reached down, scooped him up, went to throw him in the bush, and he bit the end of my finger. Not a problem. Hurt like hell for a second or two, threw it in the bush, cleaned my hand up, didn't think nothing of it, put my gloves on, carried on working. Yeah. About 4 days later, started to feel a bit fluey. Carried on working. A couple of days after that, really went down with a bad case of flu. Was laid up at home, really feeling absolutely flu. I had the backaches, the sweats, the temperature, the whole lot. I was necking cold flu relief to try and keep me going. And I realised one day my eyes were going yellow. And I thought, oh, shit, I've taken too much paracetamol. Paracetamol poisoning toxicity. That's really fucking important. I get to the doctors now. Phone doctor, I think I've overdosed on paracetamol. All right. Why? So told them the doses I've been taking. Shouldn't have done. That shouldn't have been affecting you like that. Come up, we'll do some blood tests. Walked in, talking to the doctor. He said, what do you do for a living? I said, well, at the moment, I'm running a program along the canal for ex-prisoners. And he went, all right. He said, an exposure to the water. I said, no, nothing. I said, well, I did get bitten by a vole last week. He went, and he got really excited. He was like, right. Took blood from me and they told me to go straight to the local hospital, that he'd make a phone call for me to go up there. Went to the hospital, went in, got put straight onto a heavy dose of intravenous antibiotics for about 24 hours and got monitored there. And it was Wells disease.
Yeah.
And they reversed that. But I was, as he explained to me afterwards, he said, you were literally 3 days off of killing your liver. It would have killed you. There's no choice about it. So, again, the term bullet dodger and Mickey, yeah.
Well, Mike's been bitten as a kid by a cottonmouth.
Oh, not nice.
And Jason said a local guy got bitten by a bat and you couldn't barely see the bite.
Bloody hell. Yeah. But again, all these things can nab you. Insect bites. People get bitten by spiders, even in the UK. It becomes septic. They have an allergic reaction. Kaz has got a friend, got bitten going on holiday one day. That was about 15 years ago. She's still affected by it today.
Yep.
It's everybody's body reacts differently. Every creature that bites.
So some people are allergic to bee stings or wasp stings. They get anaphylactic shock from.
Secondary infection.
Yeah.
Cottonmouth. I bet that was rough. Yeah.
So we've always got.
Lee, you're right. I always carry antihistamines. Got them in my med kit all times.
Can you do a bug? Mike said, can you do a DIY bug repellent? Please?
Mike, I can give you my secret to not being bitten by mozzies, bugs, and the rest of it. And for years, the ranges I ran at Longmoor are literally in a marsh, and every year I used to watch guys getting eaten alive. And they all used to say to me, I'd walk around like this. Aren't you affected by them? Aren't you affected by them? And I said, no, I'm not affected by them because I use an old traditional technique and remedy that keeps the buggers off me. And it is quite simple. If you're in a mosquito, horsefly, biting insect environment, what you need to do is every single day eat one small onion. Okay? Now, when you first start doing this, you'll probably think to yourself, that is gopping. I don't like it. It's foul gopping. It's an old British military term for something disgusting because it's the noise you make when you go, oh. Yeah. So I'd eat an onion every single day. I'd have an onion sandwich, something like that, every morning.
3 Dog, right. I actually give this advice to Chris, wasn't it?
Yeah.
If minor insect bites and stings, etc., you can apply aloe vera gel, witch hazel, or you can make a paste for yourself, and you use baking soda and water. You make it into a paste and actually put the paste onto the area where you've been bitten, and let it set for a while, and then wash it off, and that should start. Stopping the inflammation and sting.
If you can't manage onions, Lee Michelle's right. Eat loads of garlic. Any of the allium family, any of the onion family are absolutely brilliant, because one of the things they do is they release a chemical into your bloodstream that sweats out through the pores of your skin, and it is a natural insect repellent. The other one I use, and I've got a pack around here, tea tree wipes. Okay. The tea tree face wipes. Again, tea tree is a natural insect repellent. It's also an antibacterial. So again, also helps for cleanliness and that. So quite often in my kit.
Another 3 ones are honey. You can use honey, or you can use the same as the baking soda. You can use oatmeal paste, and you you put that onto the area. And if you have lavender oil, you can put the lavender oil straight onto the skin.
Yeah.
Most of the things like cider apple vinegar, you have to dilute it, but with lavender, you can put it straight onto the skin and that.
Yeah, John, that salve's absolutely brilliant. Is absolutely brilliant. And again, you can make salves and that yourself. So you can make your own insect repellent creams. You can extract the juice of an onion, crush an onion, take the juice from the onion. Okay, you can blend that juice into an oil. You can even, if you wanted to go mad enough, you can blend it into something like petroleum jelly, and just use a little smear of that. That will help to keep it off. Vic, I've heard, is another. The old Vic you used to put on your chest. That was another thing that people used to use as an insect repellent. But yeah, I really just stick to it, and it's always worked for me. An onion a day keeps tickers away. Yep. That's the way I think about it, and it's just a small onion like that. It can be chopped fine. I don't cook it. I have it raw. If you can't manage that, then obviously cook it. But yeah, that and a sandwich. And if you find an onion sandwich a bit strong for you, cut your onion fine, put it in. It's what Mum used to do for us with kids. Put it into a dish, a little bit of water, give it a couple of minutes, give it a shake off, give it a dry off, put it on a slice of bread, a little bit of salt on that, a little bit of cheese. Oh yeah, way to go.
The ones I would carry, Simon, are tea tree oil and lavender as your the main ones to carry. You can take clove oil as well. Sometimes you have to be careful of that one. But yeah, definitely the 2 main ones, essential oils I'll take with you is lavender and tea tree oil. Yeah,
permethrin, that works. Although permethrin, I try and stick pure or as much as I can to natural ingredients. And 3 dog alliums and so garlic is the same as an onion. They're all part of the allium family, and all the alliums are absolutely brilliant for keeping insects away. Tiger bombs. Even if you're out and you're caught short, if there's wild garlic about, get that wild garlic, rub it on your skin. Yeah, that will keep them away. If you really can't face eating the onions, okay, even if you take the shoots off a spring onion and just give them a rub on your skin, they will help keep the biting insects away. In actual fact, this last week when it was really, really hot, I went to bed, got up, woke up, like that, and the first thing I did was went downstairs, got a drink of water, saw that I had my spring onions in a little pot, tore a top off, backs of my hands, backs of my arms, round behind my ears and my neck and my feet, because I can pretty much take a bite anywhere, but my feet, they always get you right on the top of your big toe. That just itches for days, drives you up the wall. Oh yeah.
See, let's think. All this information, all of you have, and you know, it's
interesting thing.
It is.
Jason, the interesting thing is, if you rub the girl down with onion, she won't smell the onion on you. See, ain't caring, ain't sharing. Walk into your missus tonight holding an onion in your hand and going, tonight is your lucky night.
See, I used to eat garlic a lot. I got to really sort of take it or leave it. Sometimes when he's had a bit too much garlic, he's like, ooh.
Oh, ankle biters.
Yeah, there's no cure for that.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, sandflies. I don't know if anybody's ever come across sandflies. They're hateful things they
are. Horse flies as well. They're another bloody thing. Yeah, definitely horse flies. Really, yeah.
Horseflies do suck. They deep and hard, horrible things. But sandflies, just hateful, horrible things. But again, onion, garlic, it's worked for me. And again, only one dose a day. It's in your bloodstream.
Was I doing the? He said, if you guys need help, he said, off. When are you going to do the quiz?
No, it's all right.
No, not right now.
We'll do the quiz next week, mate. We'll do the same quiz. We'll do it next week. I'm on a bit of a roll at the moment. And to be honest with you, skin so soft from Avon as pucker. Yeah. There, and again, you can buy over the counters that help.
I actually, I use a lot of stuff with turmeric in.
Yeah.
Because you ladies will get their bags and arrays and that, but yeah.
Yeah, it does. I mean, any water anywhere, and it's incredible how a thimble of water out in the garden this time of year in the heat, and you can go out the following day and find mosquito larvae in it. It's any moisture, any water anywhere, and they will lay their eggs.
You can say hello because
Owen's here. And of course, remember, it's only the female mosquito that you've got a problem with. The male mosquito is quite harmless. He doesn't suck blood. He's like all us fellas, really. He just floats around going, hey, hello, ladies. That's all he's interested in. The female, she's the one that's causes all the trouble. Sexist there, Mick. How dare you?
Well, I was trying to catch the Willow, but he's been an arse again.
Yeah, Willow has definitely got the wind up his bum today. Don't know whether it's the thunder, the rain, but
every time I go to pick him up, he's jumping backwards. He
just wants to play, didn't you?
Let's say hello to
Hello.
There you go, Owen.
There you go.
Before you disappear, it's Dalvello's.
Yeah, happy little boy.
Willow got donated 4 pairs of army socks today for him to drag apart from one of the.
Such a happy little dog, is he? Yeah.
On the army surplus.
Couldn't have taken him there. That guy had a big box of bundled up socks.
Oh,
he would have been in it.
Yeah.
You noticed, all you'd seen was his furry little tail hanging out the top of the box.
What did you do with your? Look, T. What Mick got at a military show today. It's a Romanian one. Romanian one.
1958.
1958 Romanian. 10 squid.
I did find myself thinking, do I really need this? And then I picked it up and went, actually, that's quite an interesting bit. I look at things like that, and you see the little dents and stuff on them, and I tend to find myself thinking, I wonder what he said when he dropped that.
Yeah, for a good idea, Bill. It's an everyone at sea kept a praying mantis. No bugs at all.
Yeah. Well, you go to a lot of countries and they encourage the geckos, the praying mantises in. They don't see them as a problem. If they're up on the walls, it's considered good luck because they keep the insects down. It's
Free dog. How's your lovely Freya? I've been watching her videos. Oh, no, Pat. Anyone hasn't seen Three Dogs got a new doggy called Freya, and she's a husky, and she's 10 months old, and he put out down a paddling pool, and she was playing in the paddling pool. It was so funny.
Bless her.
Oh.
Oh, Dee.
Oh.
Bless you, my friend. Bless you.
Yeah.
That's yeah, they know. I got told years ago they know. A lot of animals are very conscious of when their time is up.
Bye, Mike. Take it easy. Have a good week.
We'll do some interesting things, fascinating things. My friend Martin, he keeps spaniels, and they're all rescues. I had one for years. Lovely little dog, and he got up one morning, as he does every morning, and he lets them all out. He's got a lovely place in the middle of nowhere. Lets them all out to the garden, huge garden. They'll charge around like lunatics and that. He said she literally come wandering up to him in the kitchen, sat down at his feet, had her treat as she normally did, and then she just curled up at his feet and went. He said, and it was. He said, I just felt she was saying goodbye. So they do. They're incredible parts, incredible spirits, and yeah. The only thing is, I just hold in my heart that we, somewhere, we'll meet again. Yeah. Mike, take it easy, bro. Look after yourself and stay away from them cottonmouths.
Yeah, I did that as a kid.
Yeah, and don't worry about me, mate. I'll be fine. I'll still be here in another 10 years.
Yeah, he's got the vets. I mean, doctors on Wednesday.
Cheers, love. Yeah.
Yes, and I got a new. You want to see my new vehicle on Thursday?
For those men of a certain age, you'll know what I say when it's Wide-Eyed Day Wednesday. Yes, it's not one I'm looking forward to. In fact, I'm actually having to do all my charts and my fluids.
You probably would be better off seeing a vet. You're right, Friedel.
And all the rest of it. So, yeah, it's great, isn't it? They give me one piece of paper to fill out, but along with it, all that I've got to read. Am I actually doing a course to analyse myself, or is the doctor going to do it? Lawrence, it's not a fun one, but at the end of the day, it's
got to be done.
3 things I'd recommend to everybody: get yourself a regular blood test once a year, and ask them to check for any markers. Once you get to a certain age, get your prostate checked, especially if you have any issues with your bladder. Okay, get it checked. Right, the sooner it's checked, the sooner it can be dealt with. And you get any regular backaches, back pains, things like that, go and ask them to check the kidneys and liver.
And you said, do you fancy coming out fishing, mate? I can get you a guest ticket. When do you fancy coming out? You can get you a guest ticket.
Andy, at the moment, it would have to be on. I can't give any dates for anything at the moment. I've got so much on. What with Mum, the channel, Kaz, setting up business and that. Really and truly, it's why I put I was going to do a camp in August, but I can't do it. I can't organise anything. I even got a date for it, but I just can't set to it. So
maybe really, we'll see if we can find a date next month.
Yeah, September. It's going to be September, October, or I'll try for a date next month, but I can't guarantee anything at the moment because it's just like everything's all over the place. My life at the moment is a little bit up in the air. Yeah. I am. I am really looking at that. If everything comes together for me, then I'll see you in September, mate. I'll see you in September. It'll only be a week, but it will be great to see you. Oh, me and Dee on a mission. Oh, I see you fancy this.
Andy, I'll
me and
get in touch with you about that.
Me and Dee on a mission to Vancouver Island to go fishing and wild camping. Oh, that sounds like a good one.
Thanks, Katrina, because obviously my friend that I lost yesterday, Katrina's mum, who's my longest old-time friend, we're all part of the Caroline, me, Katrina's mum, Karen, and that we were the hooligans,
the Elmbridge posse
together. So it's a rough time for both me and Katrina's mum. Yeah, survival rates are really high. And anybody that's I have had some. You seem quite happy to say the cancer word. Yeah, I am. The survival rates are getting better and better and better. Give a big hug from me,
sweetheart. The more we share it, the more people get checked early. the better it can be dealt with, and the more positive the outcome. Science is moving forward, medication is moving forward, things are getting better. So, and that's all I can keep to mind. I still don't know what the outcome of this next bout of things is going to be. They've only said it could be, but of course, after recently having it, there's a bit in my mind that's a bit like, oh, here we go again, another operation.
Jason said his doctor's a skinny Chinese lady. Yeah, Andy, we did bump into the state detective. We found the state detective, and he actually said that he'd be interested in coming to the camp in October. So,
yeah, you never know. You never know. Nice to have him there.
We actually saw you, Andy, later on after we saw you disappearing off down one of the alleyways. Of the,
yeah, it must have been that kiss, because Kaz went, there goes Andy. I was like, there's 200 people in front of us. How did you spot him?
Yeah.
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 Yeah, you can.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the real you, not the AI you.
Yeah. Yeah. I was very nearly a bit of a stinker at the show, because there was a nice lad. He was obviously part of a reenactment group that knew a little bit about what he was doing, and he was stood there and he was holding a Heckler & Koch, and he's going, yeah, and this is the 416, and it works like this, and it does this, that, and the other. And I looked straight at it and went, no, that's the 762 variant, the 417. And I very nearly went, and I thought, no,
don't do it. Don't do it. Yeah, it's better than learn the truth, but yeah.
Yeah, it's a couple of people trying out some of the weapons and that. You just want to. There was a guy showing his girlfriend the S80, and he was doing some weird underarm cocking thing, which I was like, and I just wanted to take it off him. But there we go. What can you do? It's just one of those things. Benny, brother, how you doing, mate? Hey, Benny. Been loving your videos of late, Benny. I'm sorry I haven't put many comments on. I've been watching them downstairs on the big set. Absolutely brilliant.
Your special sticks.
I do like a sexy stick.
Sexy stick, yeah.
You'd not get some wind up there. It was really windy up at his camp. Blimey. We've got hardly any down here.
No. Hi, hiking the hills.
Yeah. Hiking the hills. How you doing, mate? Hope you're good. Hope everything's all good with you.
Yeah, he was. He made. I don't know. Did you see that bomb that he had dug into the ground with the SOSH sticker on it? He actually pressed something inside the tent, and all this smoke started coming out of this bomb that was in the ground. Absolutely. It made people go, "What's going on there?"
Yeah. Absolutely. I said, you want to start putting sausages and that, smoking them. And he was like, that's a pretty good idea. Yeah, it was wet. But anyway, I was like, blimey, that was a bit on the severe side.
So, Stealth, have you been up into the woods with the lads?
Oh, I'm just going to get a drink of water.
You've got a bottle there.
I've got a bottle there. Oh. Yeah, Stealth, and I'm still coming down to Wales. I am coming down to Wales.
You've got so much to do, so little time to do it in.
Well, I've actually decided for my own stuff, I'm going to be doing my stuff here mainly in the autumn. So through the remainder of the summer, I'll be trying to get out and about.
I see. So it's another challenge coming up. So not only got Benny's 48-hour one, but so bow drill boil trap challenge. Who's going to try it?
Jason, I've told you about bow drill. I've told you about bow drill.
Nice, Stealth.
Oh, it's because the man doesn't have flint there. Yeah, I'll give it a go. Just look at
So
my
that's the
Bodrel.
second. Yeah, so 1 litre of water to boil by Bodril. So we've got
is that-
Jason's challenge, and we've also got Benny's 48-hour challenge.
Yeah.
I actually told Andy that Taylor what my pudding version of my toasty was today. I'm not saying what it was, but he went, oh.
Just me and you then, Benny. 48 hours.
Yeah.
Living off what you can find. It's because they don't want to eat creepy crawlies. None of them's ever had the joy of a southern fried wood lice drumstick. You know, it's just, it's all good food.
Steph says no food and water for him then.
Yeah, I'll have a go. Yeah, I'll give it a bash, Jason. And no matter how much I hate Bodril, I will give it a bash.
I don't know. Jason, Three Dog would like to know, is that a traditional bow drill or can you improvise?
The military sleep system, right, the British military sleep system is one of the best in the world, mate.
Bill would like to know, he's just upgraded his sleep system to the MSS.
Yeah, it's one of the best in the world,
All
mate.
right, yeah.
It's a good system. If you've got the complete system, so you've got a summer set, which then goes inside your winter set to make an Arctic set. That's absolutely superb.
I believe, Simon, it's 48 hours with
48 hours with no food.
Lee, Benny, can you let Simon know what your 48-hour challenge is, lovey?
Would like backstrap. Yeah, I like a bit of backstrap. See, Benny really crippled me because when he said, "Oh, right, you're not allowed."
That's not. It was Brooke. It's Brooke's idea.
See, I was like, I'm going to take the air rifle out with me. I'm going to have a couple of them squirrels out in the woods. But not allowed to take an air rifle with me. Oh, damn.
Bugger.
Damn. Means I've got a trap or forage find. It's like I'm eating green for 48 hours. $48 minimum get stop while I'm snaking.
Yeah, Simon, Benny's put it up there for you. So be three amigos.
Yeah. 48 hours, no food, 3 litres of water, sleeping bag, and
planning to get you one of the MSS green bags when he gets to the surface place.
Yeah, good kit. Brilliant kit.
Can I bring beer?
It's all down to Benny. That's his challenge.
That's a good one. 3 Dog, yeah. You've got a new pup, so no, not 40 hours.
It's not a bad time of year actually for foraging. I'm just going to up eating bramble tips. God, they make me fart. Excuse my language. Yeah, give it another week or two. I've already seen a couple of blackberries out there, so it's good. I know there's a couple.
We have to be quick round here because there's a lot of Nepalese where we live, and they'll go.
I know there's a couple of apple trees. Got myself a baked apple. Yeah, it's getting on to that time of year, isn't it? All right, military sleep systems. So you can get those most surplus supplies online or in shops. If you look around online, you can normally find them quite good. So the British military sleep system comprises of, in its basics, a jungle sleeping bag or summer weight sleeping bag and a winter sleeping bag. That winter sleeping bag, if you put the jungle sleeping bag inside, you've just created the Arctic sleeping bag. Alongside that, you want a bivy bag, a Gore-Tex bivy bag. Combine those, you need nothing else. Nice, Benny. I suppose beach foraging that will be part of it if you live close enough to a beach to do a video. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, excuse to head down to Cornwall for a video. Limpets, whelks, mussels, cockles.
Simon's in a liner, Mickey, if you're older.
Yeah. Do you know what the liners, right? The liners are great bit of kit. I've had a couple over the years, and I've ended up trashing them. To be honest with you, I find I've got this. For me, sleep systems come into two categories. One is an emergency sleep system, so it's got to get me through the night in a severe situation. And the other one is I'm out having a camp and that. And if I'm out having a camp, I just want to be comfortable. And I'm a cool sleeper, so I don't like to be hot. So I'd rather be cool. So yeah, and I'm a hammock man myself more than a tent man. So I tend to be, just a wooey thrown over me. This time of year, nothing at all.
Which sound?
Yeah, it's one of the things. It's been really hot like this. You get a hammock, don't stick an underquilt on it. Just the bunk net. Strip yourself naked. Get in there. Let the air move around you. Yeah, it's a comfy night.
Well, ladies and gents, I'm not feeling too great. I've been sitting all day and I'm starting to feel really uncomfortable. So I'm going to have to call it a quits. So take it easy, everyone. Nice to see you, Andy. And yeah, I shall catch up with you soon. All right. Bye.
I'll be down in a bit, love.
Okay.
Have you? You going, Mummy Willow? Or do you want to say good night to everybody? Come on in.
Come on.
Right. The reason he jumps on me and not Cats is I poke my tongue out at him. Go, Willow. He's like, what the hell is that? Let me get that. Let me get that. Let me get that. Let me get it. Let me get it. One of these days he's going to bite my tongue, isn't you? Yeah. Say good night to everybody. Good night, everybody. Good night. Sleep well. That's it. Off this mum's got to see what she's got. Oh, I swing myself round. Tilt my chair back. Stick my arms behind my head. Get in a position where I can read it. Oh, yeah. So I'm afraid this year, for me, has been a bit of a nightmare. So all the plans at the beginning of the year pretty much gone by the by, what with health and that. But, hey, get through it, come out the other side. And we're trying to start a small business to keep my head above water. That's also turned into a nightmare. God, blimey. Yeah. And for those of you that might be interested, there's a small business I'm looking at started, which is just something to top my pension up and keep my head above water. I thought, what do I like? Now, I did look seriously about going back into instructing, and I really looked at it. However, realistically, it will be a lot of hard work, a lot of time, a lot of money to get me by for the next 7 years. So I sat there realistically, and I just thought I'm going to start a little dog walking business. I enjoy walking. I go on a lot of walks. I like dogs. In fact, I've got great love of dogs. So I was like, you know what, sod it. I'll start my own little dog walking business, and it will just top my pension up enough to keep my head above water, allow me to get out and do the things I like to do. Gets me out to the countryside, and probably will force me to increase my physicality because I'm going to be doing it. Yeah, I'm starting to look like a bleeding hippie, isn't I? It's time for a clip. I actually charged them up this morning. I was going to do it beforehand, but yeah, look at me, bloody hippie. It's disgusting. That I do apologise. Coming on the live with hair like that. I mean, it's quite funny. I have to grow a ponytail. I even have a shave before I come on the lives. God, it's receding quicker now, isn't it? Receded any quicker, I wouldn't be able to catch it up, I tell you. It moves in front of the clipper, I'm sure of it. Yeah, I mean, stealth, I was looking at it around here. It's again, I was chatting to somebody that does it for a living, and they were saying to me, if they take 8 dogs out for an hour, they've made themselves 160 quid. And I'm like, bloody hell. But I don't really want to be walking 8 dogs. I think I'm going to keep it down to 2s and 3s, small numbers, give myself a reasonable income out of it. I don't need to be rich. Do enough to keep myself happy. Haircut intervention. Yeah, I do apologise, guys. Bill, oh mate, no, you just got to keep battling it. My love and prayers are with you, my brother. It's I've not been unlucky enough to have to go through chemo. I'm hoping I don't have to with this next batch, but I'll just deal with it as it comes. Yeah, oh, wait, I feel for you. Jason, exactly that. Do 3 dogs 2 times a day, it's still 120 quid. You know, although the amount of con artists out there, the same person I was talking to said to me, she said, yeah, actually, I'll make a killing out of this. She said, I do like 5 or 6 dog walks a day. And I was like, bloody hell, you must be fit. She said, no, it doesn't work out like that for me. She said, by the time I've gone round and picked them all up, she said, they get about 15-minute walk together. And she said, and then by the time I've dropped them all back, she said, as long as I drop them in the right order, she said, I've had them all an hour. And I was like, you conning bitch. So what I'm going to do for my clients is I will pick the dogs up and they get charged for the walk, not the travelling to and from. So the dogs will be picked up, and when I get to the walk site, they will be sent a picture of the dogs. Walk starting now. They're all happy. Look, there they are. I'll go do the walk, and at the end of the walk, at the end of their allotted hour, they'll get a message. There you go. There's all the dogs. Put them back in the van, ready to go home. Okay, and that's it. So one, they know they're not going to be cheated, but I'm also going to set it up each one as a WhatsApp group. So if their dog misbehaves, or if their dog does something, I mean, I'm a dog owner myself, so their dog drops something and you think that doesn't look too healthy, I can take a picture, I can send it to them and say, I think you need to see the vet, or I think you need to have a look at what you're feeding your dog. And if they're, at the end of the day, I'm taking their babies out. So if they want to get hold of me during the walk and just see how it's going, keep an eye on their baby, more than welcome to. People might say, oh, yeah, it's because they don't trust you. Yeah, dogs. We treat our dogs like our children, don't we? It's as I said to somebody the other day, you wouldn't put your child in the hands of just somebody off the street for 20 quid to look after for an hour. And so you've got to think the same way with the dog. So it's yeah, and it combines my 2 loves. So I do enjoy walking, and I do enjoy the company of dogs. And I've no doubt it's not all going to be roses. I've no doubt I'm going to get the odd one that's a bit of a, shall we say, a dickhead. Might get the odd one that doesn't like everybody else. I've just got to be careful with my management and how I look after them. And yeah, that will keep me going through my retirement. Yeah, we've got. I've been looking into the secure dog places around me. There are a lot. There are a lot in an area very close to me called Normandy. And I was looking at that and I was like, it might be something I can set up a later date, which would be like a socialising session, where you can have literally a dozen dogs can have the place put to themselves for an hour, and they can have an absolute loony. But
an hour for 4 dogs, some places are 15 quid.
Right, an hour for 4 dogs is 15 quid at one of them. So, it's it's the way to look at it. But then that's me, just looking forward to getting out, doing a bit of walking, spending time. Yeah, yeah, Lee. That's the problem. There are a lot of con artists out there. I mean, if with me and dogs, I socialise with the dogs. We went to the show today, and I probably met 5 dogs there. Every single one of them got a bit of a fuss, a bit of attention, had a chat to me. I had a chat to them. We talked about how things were. I mean, if I was any more of a dog person, I would greet them by sniffing their asses, but I don't drop to that level because people think it's weird. But yeah, no, I like dogs. Get away with dogs. And I know a lot of really nice areas around here to walk them. Yeah, yeah, 3 dog. There is that concern, but I've also right. So one of the things I looked at, if I'm going to be walking somebody's dogs, their dogs don't know me in the beginning, I don't know them. I've got to be very careful about safety, security, and things like that. I've looked into all the insurances. I've looked at courses that you ought to do if you're this sort of person. So I'm going to go do my canine first aid course. Doing a dog handler's course. Again, there's no legal requirement to. However, I'm going to do it because it is good practice and it shows that I've actually gone to actually learn a bit about what I'm doing. But I've also looked into micro tagging. So these are basically like the Apple tags, but they're different technology, slightly more durable. And the idea is I'll have each one of those on a clip. Each one of them will go on the dog's collar when we go out. They're all linked to my phone. If for any reason something happens and one of them gets away from me, I've got it on there and I can track the dog. So it's a fair investment. It's even down to buying a van. I could just go out and buy an old van. But I thought about it and I thought, you know what, am I better off going out and buying something that is made for purpose? So when we looked at the insurances, we looked at safety, the security of the animals and that, or the dogs that I'm carrying. One of the options for me is to actually buy something like an ex-police dog handler's van, which has got all the aircon already fitted for each of the kennels. They can be cleaned out in a manner which means after every walk, every one of them's got to be cleaned out. It's got to be made sure there's no chance of any cross contamination infections. You don't know if somebody's dog's ill, picked up something. You don't want that being spread. You don't. There's a lot goes into it. When you really start looking at it and breaking it down, it's like, you know what? If you're going to do this in a professional, responsible manner, and you're going to make money out of it, you've got a bit of an outlay right at the beginning. Yeah. Lee, I'm not a cat person, but I've owned a cat myself. We had a cat called Napoleon that I thought the world of. He was an absolute lunatic. He used to get himself stuck on the house. He used to get up onto the roof of the house and sit up by the chimney. And the first time he did it, I sort of walked out because he's mewing, he's up on the roof. And I just looked at him and went, he got himself up there, he can get himself down. He's a cat, right? He will get himself down. Don't worry about it. He'll come down. He's hungry. Just ignore him and leave him. 3 days later, I had to stick a ladder up on the side of the house. And me and ladders don't get on. I had to climb up, go up on the roof, scrabble across the roof, pick this cat up that's now dehydrated and being ill, and get him off the roof myself. Wasn't the best experience in the world. And the so and so did it within 2 weeks, was back up there again. So yeah. Well, that's the other thing I've got. it's not to book myself, Jason. It's not to book myself to the point where I can't manage it. So it's like I say, it's just to top up my pension. So it's a case of what I can manage, how I can manage it. I think 2 1 hour walks a day. It's going to tickle me along nicely. That'll do me. Yeah, it's I suppose it also depends on the breeds, doesn't it? I could just stick with Chihuahuas and Jack Russells. Parrots. Me and parrots, I don't know what it is. I get on with all wildlife apart from the parrot family. Cockatiels and parrots just don't like me. Don't know why. Don't know. It's something about me, something about my shape. Maybe it's the fact they recognise that I used to be Cornish and therefore I'm a pirate. I have no idea, but they're the only animals that have ever attacked me for no reason. Cockatiels and parrots. They'll be friendly with everybody else, sitting there calm, chatting away to them, yeah, having a great time with them. I come in the room and it's like daggers. Like him. I don't know what it was. 3 Dog, you're right. Cats find their owners. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't think you can be a cat owner. I think the cat owns you. I think the cat finds you and decides it's happy with you. Um, yeah, I think that's just their personality. They're very independent, um, and they've definitely got their own minds, do their own things. I always said people, people say to me, "Oh, I own a cat." I always, no, cat owns you, mate. I've seen it time and time again. We used to have cats on the farm. We used to, right, so cats on the farm. So they weren't pets. Yes, they would go to the vets when they needed the vets. That usually entailed pushing them into one of the stalls, capturing them in a cage and taking a cage that's fighting you all the way to the vet. The vet putting on a set of welder's gloves because they were farm cats. They were pretty much feral cats and they lived in the barns. And when I was a boy, if I had friends over, one of the things I would have to brief them right at the beginning is do not under any circumstances stroke, pet, attempt to play with the cats. They're wild cats. They are feral. They're only here because they eat the rats and the mice. Okay, they don't want your attention because they will lay there quite happily on a bale in the sun, happy as picking poo. You walk over, go, "Hello, mate," and they'd look at you and you go, "Hello, pal." You give it a stroke, and that was it. It was like a ball of fury attached to your hand. How dare you touch me? Soon learnt as a kid to leave them the hell alone. Always amazed me how I think cats are another animal like chickens. You can't run them over. Doesn't We used to get people saying, "Oh, chickens running around the yard. Aren't you worried when the tractor's moving or if a vehicle comes in?" You go, "Chickens will get out of the way," and they do. Yeah, yeah. Cats like that. They're very much their own personality. Not my cup of tea, to be honest with you. I think I like the neediness of a dog. And dogs are a little bit more needy. Yeah, they do. They want to be loved. They strive to be loved, and yeah, I think I like that. I like that connection. I'm a dog person. Anyhow, yeah, I agree with you, Lawrence. Gaz has gone down. I'm absolutely exhausted. I'm sitting here trying to read that and join in, but I'm afraid I am absolutely knackered. Yeah, apparently, Benny, I've heard that. I've heard that they bring you things as presents. We used to get the odd mouse and that brought in by the farm cats occasionally, or left in the porch. We used to have like a big porchway. They'd leave them in there. Um, yeah, yeah, and maybe it's a way in their own mind of thanking you or sharing with the pack and the I don't know, pack. No, pack's the wrong word, isn't it? God, what's it called? Collection of cats. Pride, possibly. Like lions. Don't know. Don't know what you call a group of cats. Yeah, Yeah, no idea. No idea. But apparently, yeah, I've heard that myself. They do it. They leave you presents. My dad. We first moved up to Surrey. So I was a young lad when we moved up to Surrey, and yeah, we moved into a place called Merrow. And my dad went to work at a garage, and had a guy there who's, should we say, the guy's marriage was a bit one-sided. His wife really ruled the roost, and it didn't matter what the guy did. He could never. He was always trying to make her happy, and it just seemed everything he did, whether it was buy a holiday, buy a car, buy an outfit, it was he'd always cock out one way or another. Anyhow, she decided at some point she wanted a Chihuahua. This is back in the 70s, mid to late 70s. She wanted a Chihuahua. So this guy saved. He used to work Saturdays, literally to make extra. Saturdays were always overtime, so he'd work Saturdays just to make the overtime, to stick in his little pot to treat his missus. And he bought her a Chihuahua puppy. And he brought it into the workshop, showed the guys there. My dad's like, oh, what a beautiful little thing, tiny little Chihuahua puppy. Made a little box for it, made a little bed in it, nice high-sided box that couldn't get out. Took it home, sorted it all out, put it in the living room. So when she'd get up in the morning, she'd come down, and there would be this. She'd always wanted a Chihuahua puppy. Unfortunately, they had a cat. She'd come down in the morning. The only thing that was left of the Chihuahua puppy was half its body. Cat had eaten it and left it on the floor. So there we go. My dad was one that would always laugh at, not the cruelty, he would laugh at the sad side of it. But it was one of those, oh, blimey, you know. Night, Andy. Will do, mate. Yeah, I bet you bet you're knackered. Right, anyhow, guys, that's me. I'm done. It is 1 hour and 51 minutes. I'm exhausted. This has been Mickey, Hampshire Outdoors Survival. This has been Kaz, Willow, Mac, and the guys from Tarpac. Have an absolutely wonderful week, guys. Enjoy yourselves. Get outside. Have your adventures. Look after yourselves. Have fun. Those of you that are a bit older like me, yeah, start thinking about maybe popping over and seeing the doctor and going, yeah, do you know, can you just run some tests, make sure everything's okay. Look after yourselves. And yeah, it looks like this week I've got a fair bit on, but I will get the video up probably middle of the week from the show. And yeah, take it easy, be good, love those you do, forgive those you don't. And as always, may peace and light be upon you all. This has been Mickey, Hampshire Outdoors and Survival, wishing you all the best. Till next time, Mickey out. Well, if I can find the mouse. There we go.